Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 21st of 2023, and given that there's a lot of things to discuss revolving around Disney and the board, along with Bob Iger, there's a lot of back and forth scenarios happening simultaneously right now between what's going on with Star Wars, Marvel, and of course just Disney live-action remakes in general that are moving onwards. As unfortunate as it sounds, we have a lot of things happening with the Hercules live-action remake, Sword in the Stone, along with Lilo and Stitch, which by the way are going to get big updates by this September at the D23 event, so stay tuned on that. However, this is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into what's going on with Rachel Zegler. Now, you guys may all very well be aware that Rachel Zegler has been going through quite a bit of a phase lately. You know, all due in part to those resurfaced interviews that have been going around online that really sent Disney into a spiraling disaster, so to speak, and how Bob Iger and the board have no idea what to do with this movie. Alright, there's re-edits in the works, there's plans to reshoot portions of this film. However, the WGA strikes and everything happening with SAG is getting in the way of all of that and delaying that process, so it's all a mess. And if I were Disney, I would cut my losses and I would just Batgirl this movie. In case you guys don't know what I mean by that, Batgirl was a movie that was completely finished and it got cancelled and they cut their losses. Now what's interesting though is that there's a lot of things happening with Rachel Zegler, so let's get into this. Now, as we have been discussing for the past 2 weeks, Disney was prepping a Snow White cinematic universe. They wanted to make 2 prequel movies and a sequel to expand this, much like how they plan to do with The Lion King. However, with actress Rachel Zegler as the main focus for Snow White 24 and a big part of the ongoing backlash based on resurfaced comments that she made of the film, one major development has to do with Rachel recently got in big trouble, of course, with Disney's higher-ups involving Snow White after her interviews have gone viral across the board. As it turns out, Disney is very unhappy about what Rachel Zegler said about the film and her beliefs of the original 1937 movie. Reportedly, Zegler went off the script and her coaching lessons with those comments, and it was not coached by Disney for her to say that, and it flew over Disney's head for a while until it resurfaced. Right now, Zegler is being prepared to say things more carefully, and she is said to be having a very big issue with that, with being told what and what not to say, and is reportedly not abiding by Disney's instructions for what she is supposed to say in the future after everything with SAG comes to a close for future interviews to promote this movie. Disney recently dropped Zegler from the show, of course, or from Snow White, and as a sequel that was greenlit behind the scenes and was about to get announced at this year's D23 show. So let me pause here for one moment. Now, the D23 show, by the way, was going to be a very big deal for the Snow White sequel. They were going to announce this thing and really put it at the forefront that, yeah, they're expanding the stories of not just Snow White, but also The Little Mermaid, and yes, even The Lion King, a lot of which are now up in the air. You know, we know that they had a Scar movie in development that's really kind of in a mixed bag right now. You know, it may or may not even enter development at this point because of all the lockdowns that are happening with all these movies, development-wise. This is basically their deep pause of rethinking their strategy. They also want to update their DEI agenda. And not in the good sense of reversing it, they want to up the ante, they want to double down on this stuff. So, that brings us to Rachel Zegler again. Look, I'm glad that Disney removed her from the said sequel, and I think it's quite naive of her to believe that she can just say whatever she wants to say on camera, and how she believes that it's wrong for Disney to tell her what and what not to say. They gotta remember that this is the film industry. You know, they usually coach these actors and actresses for these interviews, you know, what to say and what not to say. And this happens a lot, quite frankly, where these actors just go off the board and they just say what they have to say, and it causes complete damage to the product or to the property or whatever is being promoted, be it a TV show, movie, whatever have you, a limited series, doesn't matter. There's a lot of scenarios where that does happen, and that's why you find yourself, when you watch these actors, they go on late night television, they go on the red carpet, they go to specific events, you'll usually hear, like, repeated answers and questions. And they say it in a very interesting way, but they kind of twist things around a little bit. That's because they're coached by Disney or, for example, other film studios out there on what to say. So, moving onwards, this is where things get even more complex, is that the true reason why Zegler was removed from the Snow White sequel also had to do with the fact that she is unwilling to have limitations to what she can say, like I said before, about Snow White 24. This is, as it turns out, one of the other main reasons why Zegler was removed from the said sequel that was going to originally focus on her life years later after the 2024 film. Another reason why they removed her from the sequel had to do with the fact that Zegler kept on pressing a triple pay increase, along with her only reappearing in the film if Andrew Burnap dropped out of the movie for some unknown reason that may or may not surface in the future. So guys, this is one thing I did want to talk about for a couple days now, and I want to bring it up to you. There seems to be some kind of rift between Zegler and Burnap. For those of you that do not know, Andrew Burnap plays the supposed love interest in Snow White, if you even want to call him that, because there's reportedly no Prince Charming in this film, nor is there any kind of true love aspect of the movie. So I don't know what Jonathan's true purpose is here. You know, we've heard that one of his songs that he sings is about being a hopeless romantic. It sounds very, very low level, especially even by Disney, but I digress. Zegler was furious over the latest decision by Disney to remove, of course, her from the Snow White sequel, and now the board is thinking of just remaking the film flat out as another reimagining, as they plan to do the same with Sleeping Beauty 2 Maleficent. And we talked about this briefly last week, that Disney wants to do another reimagining of Sleeping Beauty. That's going to be more of a lighthearted tale in comparison to the darker tale of Maleficent. That's what they want to do. You know, so we know that everything ranging from Rachel Zegler saying the things that she said on camera about 1937, about, you know, the prince this and that, and everything ranging from also about how she believed that Snow White as a ride was scary and how she would never ride it again, or how she would never see the 37 movie again. As surprising as it may seem, that was not coached by Disney. This is all Zegler. And that just goes to show you that she truly is somebody that is out of her mind, that does not know what she's talking about, and she is using this spotlight to her full advantage. Now, I think it's going to be interesting to see what she says once everything with SAG lifts, and when the actors and actresses can promote their current work that's up and coming. So, like I said, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night to moon.